Good morning, everyone. We stopped this talk for a while, so we need to recap a little bit. The Śurangama Sutra go to the 10th talk, and today I will go briefly talk about the 25 methods to enlightenment. This is a very important topics for all the practitioners. So before we start, let's chant together the verses for beginning the sutra. Please join palms. The unsurpassed, profound, and sublime Dharma is difficult to encounter even in a billion aeons. Today we see, hear, receive, and uphold it, vowing to fathom the true meaning of the Tathagata. So this is the structure of the Śurangama Sutra. Like I said before, that the original question from Ananda and is about the wondrous samatha, wondrous samabadi, and wondrous dhyana. And so there is a master categorize the content of this sutra into these three main topics. And then the last part is about the demonic states that practitioner will encounter. And so we pretty much finished the first part about the wondrous samatha, and then we move on into the wondrous samabadi, is about the real the teachings that we can practice, and in order to awaken to the Buddha nature. So we will talk about the topic 5 here. Okay. Now, the main topic for the wondrous samapatti is the right practice of the ultimate true reality. So it has two parts. First part is practice based on the right understanding. So method, practice is a method. So this method brings us to our destination. So what is our destination and how does it look like? And what would that be is the right view that we need to have. Otherwise, we will go to the wrong direction. We will achieve to the wrong place. So that is the first and foremost that all the practitioners need to have that in mind. And then second part of this is untie the knots from the sixth faculty. So that's the main practice here. That how can we use our six faculties to untie the knots, means afflictions, to untie the afflictions and then achieve the enlightenment. And as a human being, we have six faculties here. And that is a very precious gift that human being has. Okay, so in different sutras, all the Buddhas or Tathagatas keep mentioning that it's precious, it's so precious to be human beings, that we have six faculties to practice and reach enlightenment. So there is some sutra saying that all the Buddha, all the Bodhisattvas, they choose to become enlightenment in human realm because we have six faculties to practice, to experience the suffering and experience the vanish of suffering. And so that we know that suffering and no sufferings has no true entity, and use the six faculties to experience the middle way of the suffering and no suffering. And so here, today's topic, 25 methods to enlightenment, pretty much about how can we use the six faculties and its counterpart to achieve enlightenment. last time we talked about the two definitive principles. So first is we need to examine why we want to practice. Okay, so and is our resolve, is our mind determination to enlightenment equal, like will lead us to the Buddha nature? If that is, that means we need to in accord with Buddha's non-arising and non-perishing. That means whatever has the phenomena of arising and perishing is not what we want. All the phenomena, all the Dharma, if they are in accord with the so-called arising and perishing patterns, then that's not it. And what we are looking for is the so-called non-arising and non-perishing. So we have to keep that in mind. And so we have to examine again and again. So what we are practicing with and what we achieve or what we experience, are they belongs to arising and perishing or non-arising and non-perishing? So that's the first definitive principle. And so in the last talk, I talked about that Buddha's main teaching for this part is we have to eliminate the 5 layers of turbidity. That is the main experience we have. That is the main reason that we exist in this world. And all these turbidities come from arising and perishing. So I make this table related to 5 turbidity and 5 aggregates. And the turbidity form because our sentient minds combined with non-sentient form. So sentient mind and non-sentient form become separated. And then we grasp, our sentient mind grasp the non-sentient form, then it becomes a turbidity because it's one is a water, one is a soil. So you mix them together, it's turbid. And we didn't realize that they are all one. So we, in the previous talk, I talked about why we generate a duality of form, mind and form. And now we grasp our mind, grasp the form, then it becomes turbidity, and then we form the 5 aggregates. So for example, the first layer is our visual awareness grasp the so-called voidness or space. Then the form exists and time exists. And then second part is our awareness grasp the 4 elements. So we have sensation. Then our view, our awareness become turbid. Then further on, our 6 consciousness grasps the 6 objects. So we have perceptions, and then we generate afflictions, and more, our thoughts grasp our karma, and then our nature. Why we have lifespan is because our nature, the essence of life grasps the function of this body. And we generate all kinds of consciousness. And so our life exists. So life after life, the consciousness follow with us. Okay. And Buddha says, one way to stop the 5 turbidity is to still the mind. Use the stillness of the mind to reverse the illusory state of arising and perishing back to our original state of enlightenment. So the previous part, the samatha practice, is very important. When we facing the body or mind, the arising and perishing things, is always back to the samatha practice, or the still the mind, to not to following the up and down or arising and perishing. So this is the very important foundation for all the practitioners, that we have to practice still the mind. And the second definitive principle is untie the knot. Okay, so the knot in Buddhist doctrine always refer to affliction. So how can we untie the knot? Okay. So first of all, we have to generate bodhicitta, because during the process of untie the knot, there are a lot of things would happen, a lot of difficulties, obstacles, and challenges, and even demonic state. Okay, but only the bodhicitta can take us along the way to the enlightenment. So first we must generate bodhicitta, and then we have to have the determination that we want to let go everything that has conditioned attributes. Means we have to be alert to the so-called causes and conditions, be alert to arising and perishing, because they are all conditioned. And then we have to let go of it. For example, in our daily life, okay, we want money, right? We want more money, right? But the money is conditioned. Money is conditioned. And the so-called you're rich, you're poor is also conditioned. Okay. So for example, if you are poor in America, for example, just like us, our salary is $100 a month, so poor, right? But I bring that $100 to, I don't know, to maybe some non-developed country, then I'm rich. I can buy a lot of things with $100 US dollars. But in America, I'm so poor. Because poor and rich, wealthy or not, is relatively speaking. And also maybe some people can live well, with $100, but some people just suffer even they make $10,000 a month. So everything is conditioned. And we have to observe in our daily life and contemplate it, and examine our mind and our sensation and perception. And then also we have to carefully examine the source of our afflictions. So, yeah, right, you don't have enough money, so you worry a lot. Then we have to examine the source, why you worry. Because your mind is your mind. Money is money. Why the money, your mind and the money will conflict, and you will generate worry, suffering. So why our mind, which is original pure, that will be grasp the form, that no matter it's body, environment, money, and people, then it become our problem and we suffer. Okay, so we have to carefully examine the source of our affliction. That's the second definitive principle. So people that talk about, in order to untie the nuts, because our minds, get tied up again and again. So we have more affliction and more affliction. Now we wanted to get rid of untie the affliction. We have to untie the knot. And first of all, subdue afflictions. Don't let your affliction grabs more nuts. No. First, you stop it. when you were suffering, stop it. And then gradually we can sever the affliction, which means that we need to untie all the knots here. So we have to really explain. You see the knots, a whole bunch of knots here. How do you untie it? You have to examine where to start and gradually untie it. Okay. Now, the main key roles to untie the knot is actually our 6 organs. And also our main afflictions are the majority of our affliction come from our 6 faculties, organ 6. Yeah. And why is that? Because our 6th faculty is the median that the outside things, phenomena, to enter into your mind and then steal your pure mind and defile your pure mind. So that means you open your door, let all the debris coming in. Then you lost your pure mind and you get dirty and you get diluted. So we have to watch this 6 faculty, 6 doors, that how we operate this 6 faculty is very important to find our pure mind, also to pure our to not let the afflictions defile us. Okay, so this is very I believe all you know about the 6 organs. And now we have these are the so-called fundamental afflictions. So when our 6 organs interact with 6 objects and then generate 6 consciousness, then we easily resonate with our fundamental afflictions, which is greed, hatred, delusion, conceit, doubt, and wrong view. Okay. But Buddha, in this Śurangama Sutra, Buddha keep mention to Ananda, say, okay, these are the fundamental afflictions. But when we try to examine the source of the afflictions, this is not it. But most of us, see, every time I ask people, why you want to learn meditation? They will say, okay, I'm so stressed. I have a lot of suffering. I'm in pain. Not satisfied. All kinds of things come from the fundamental afflictions. So they want to learn, meditate to release all the stress and then, calm the mind down and all that. But in Śurangama Sutra, Buddha told Ananda, no, this is not it. Even though it's fundamental afflictions, you have to find the root of affliction. The root of the affliction that support, that influence how your 6 organs interact with the objects and how you process your 6 consciousness. If you still keep your root of afflictions, and no matter how you handle those fundamental afflictions like greed, hatred, delusion, and their derivative afflictions, they're still there because the root is still there. It supports the 18 of them still diluted and interact with each other. And your fundamental afflictions will not be diluted, okay, will not be severed. So what is what is the root of affliction? What is the main purpose for us to practice with our 6 organs? That's ignorance. That is the ignorance. Okay. And what is the differences between the ignorance here of the root of affliction and the so-called delusions? Because in Chinese, sometimes they speak the same, as use the same character. So here, the fundamental afflictions, the third one is called delusions, or sometimes we also translate it into ignorance here. But here, the fundamental affliction here, the delusions or ignorance, referring to the upside down view. And the fundamental ignorance for the root of afflictions means different things. Okay. Okay. For example, I talk about the upside down views in my previous talk. For example, when we live in this mundane world, we know that we need to follow the law, follow the laws. We have common concepts. There are some etiquettes that we need to behave between peoples. We have to respect animals, all that kind of mundane ethics that we need to follow. But if we have upside down view, for example, you think, oh, I have a way that I can, I don't need to get punishment if I do something wrong. And even you think that once I make money, no matter how I did it, there's nothing wrong with it. I can cheat on people, I can steal, I can make the wrong data. If you have this upside down view and try to grasp the mundane happiness, you try to own the mundane happiness and all that, and you generate upside down view, you do a lot of bad things, and that's your delusion. Okay. And secondly, for practitioners, we wanted to practice, right? We wanted to transcend this super mundane world. And then, but yet we disobey the principle of causes and consequence and disobey the principles of impermanence. Then this is upside down view. For example, I want to meditate. So the first dhyana, second dhyana, third dhyana. But in the daily life, something wrong happened to you that why is not me get promoted? Why my wife cheat on me? Why my son, he doesn't want to listen to me? Why bad things happen to me? I'm such a nice person. It happened to all of us. A lot of things happen to us. We always first like, why me? Why this happened to me? Because we don't really understand the principle of cause and consequence. So that's why we don't know this happened because that happened, right? But our first reaction to bad things happen to us is always like, why is that? And we get angry, okay? And why I'm losing money? Why I'm losing my loved ones? Why she die? Why she leave me? If we are really practitioners, we have to transcend this because this is upside down view. For example, I have to admit, when my mother passed away, I feel really sorrow. And when I watch her last breath, deep down in my mind, I hope she continued to breathe. Don't stop breathing. I have conflict in my mind. I know life is impermanent. Let go. It's the time. But at the other hand, please breathe. I want to see you live. I see my mind like debating, I don't want my mom to be suffer from the cancer, but I don't want to hear her to die. I know things is impermanent. Nobody lives forever. I know this concept, but when I face my loved ones dying, then this view still come out. I still try before my mom passed away. I still try all the methods. I try to save her, help her to live longer. This is just like I know, but this upside down view is so rooted in my mind that when emergency things happen, it will come, but it will two views debate each other, that kind of things. Okay, but then what is if you are like, okay, you're great practitioners, you transcend, okay, but you disobey the reality of no self, emptiness, and pure true mind, that is our fundamental ignorance. No self. What is no self? Don't know, right? What is emptiness? Don't know. What is the pure mind? What are you talking about? My mind is not pure? Okay. So this is the fundamental ignorance, is we don't know. That means we don't know. Our mind is not luminous enough to know the true reality of no self, emptiness, and true mind. Okay, so that's called ignorance. Is a translation. Actually, it's called no luminosity. Wu Ming means no luminosity. Our mind is not luminous, so we cannot see. Actually, it's no self, and it's emptiness, and it's pure. This is it. So let's get back. Okay, so this delusion, the first levels, 2 levels of ignorance, belongs to the fundamental affliction here. Okay, and the mind is not luminousness. Don't know the true reality of no self, emptiness, and pure mind is the root of affliction. So Śurangama Sutra's practice is provide a way, a path to derooted this the root of affliction. So that's the goal. And it's not focus on, your greed, your hatred, conceit, your doubt. But Anatta keep focusing on this part, the fundamental affliction. So usually she cannot get what Buddha said, and always bring the question of fundamental afflictions to question why Buddha said this and why Buddha said that. And Buddha always bring him to see the root of afflictions. That is the root that we need to really work on. Okay. Now, so Buddha continued to tell Ananda, see, if you wanted to, reverse the flow of life and death, and you want to find the source of non-arising and non-perishing, you should investigate how the 6 faculties function. If you don't, it's impossible, to reverse our routine process. So we have to know our 6 faculty, how our eyes interact with the object. And, you see, when I see this and when I'm not seeing this object, how is it working? And, how I deeply absorb that I like this and I don't like this, or this doesn't matter, you know. And what is the like what is more is better than the other, what is perfect, what is not perfect, all this we have to examine. Okay, so that's the practices is all about. Now, before Buddha start, Buddha briefly explain the effects of the 6 faculties. Okay, for example, the eye. When we see things, right? If we use eyes to practice, when we see things, we need light, right? So I cannot see the thing in my back because the light did not come to my eyes, so I cannot see the things in my back. So it's limited. So I can see the front, I can see the side, but I cannot see the back. So the eye function only 2/3. And so there's a calculation. So if it's full functional, then that will be a 1200 effect. But for eyes, there is only 800, 2/3 of 1200. Okay. Now ear, I can hear the sound all over the place, no limited, no direction limited. So I have full function of 100 and 1200 effects. But nose, the problem is I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. The problem is I cannot sense the breathing when in between. Because when I'm breathing in, I know the nose is working. I'm breathing out, and nose has a sensation of breathing out. But when in between, when I'm not breathing in and breathing out, cannot sense. So when we use the breath as a practice, we have always follow the sensation of the breath. So nose still has only 2/3 of the effect. And how about tongue? Tongue here related to like I'm speaking here. The words I'm speaking, I use my tongue to speak something, right? All directions can hear the sound. There is no limited, just like ear. So it has 1200 effects. How about the body? So I can feel the touching the body when you touch me, or when the moment you detach. For example, I touch here, right? And when I detach, I know, oh, the differences. But how about when I'm not touching you? So you don't have, you cannot use this, you cannot practice with your body when there is no touching. So the effects is only 2/3 of it. And mind is everywhere. So still full functional, 1200 effects. Okay, so here, just keep in mind that when you practice any of the faculties that it is full functional or not, you have to know about it. Now, then Ananta says, because Buddha said that you choose one organ to practice it. Then Ananda just has confusion. He said, how can I choose one gateway, one organ, one faculty? And that will allow me to reverse my outflow and purify all 6 of my faculties of perception at the same time. That is also a main topic here. So you follow all the master, the true master. Usually they will appoint you a method to practice. That method either use your nose, use your breathing, or your eyes, your ears or talking, or, the walking, the touching things, or your mind, okay? They will not ask you to use two faculty at the same time. And they will not ask you to change faculty all the time. For example, today I teach you breathing. So tomorrow I teach you Hua To. What is Wu? What is Wu? What is Wu? Second time, I say, okay, walking. Let's do mindful walking. Become your practice. You can use that as a supplement practice, but your main practice is always one. Okay. For example, you're using breathing as your main method, but the problem is you got fired today. So upset. Then you cannot count your breath. You have strong emotion and you're so upset. Now, please do walking meditation. You still have to walk, right? You have to walk to the subway station. You have to walk home. Then let's do mindful walking, step by step, touching the ground, connect with the earth, unify with the earth, and unify with all the people on earth, all the sentient beings on earth. Open your minds, embrace everything. All the things happen. Don't deny it, don't against it through walking. You release. When your mind come down, come back to your method. Breathing, okay? So we can use different faculties as a supplement. That means to help us to come back to our main method. But usually one getaway is enough. So Ananda is just wondering, because I'm so eager to purify my 6 faculty. Now you just choose one. How about the other 5? Okay, so Buddha spend a lot sometimes to ask Ananda, say, so do you consider whether the 6 faculties are 1 or 6? Your 6 faculty are 6 faculties or 1 faculties? Of course. And so Buddha says, okay, if they are 6 individual faculties, so why I'm talking with my tongue and you are listening with your ear, but now your body stand up and you use your mouth to ask me questions. So how your ear tell your body to stand up, how your ear tell your mind to ask questions, your mouth to ask questions. Okay. So they are not separated 6, but are they 1? If they are 1, why your ear cannot see? Why your eyes cannot hear? Right? So Ananda just like, okay. So the conclusions, they are not 1, they are not 6, and they are not 1, and they are not 6. Okay, that's the typical Indian debate. They will use 4 layers to debate a concept, right? Means you please don't attach to your 6 faculties or 6 individual ones. They somehow connected, but they are not 1 either for you. So, but if we can choose 1 faculty, and then that will purify 1 faculty, will purify the rest of the 5 at the same time. And Buddha say very important things here, that the 6 faculties come into being out of awakened mind when another understanding is added to that awakened mind. As a result, the essential understanding is lost, and the faculties adhere to what is distorted, and each one assume a different function. Okay, that's okay. So that's Buddha explained. When the mind grasps the darkness and brightness, which will generate form. See, why we can see things? Always because there is a darkness and brightness at the same time. When this is a pure brightness, we cannot see anything. When it's pure darkness, we cannot see anything either. It always has a relative of darkness and brightness. That's why we can see things. So where there is darkness and brightness, form appear. And then, oh, I see something. Okay, so, so that's the process. The essence of seeing plus form, and then our eye faculty aggregates. Likewise, the movement and stillness. When we hear, the sound is a vibration, right? So there is a vibration, moment, and stillness, silence. And then that's why we can hear. So we have the essence of hearing, the nature or the quality of the ability to hear, plus the movement and stillness, which become a sound. Then our ear faculty aggregates. So, for example, if there is no silence, it's all the sound all the time, we cannot see the sound. Of course, when there is total silence, we cannot hear the sound either. So always the silence and the sound, the movement of the vibration of the sound always exist together. That's why we can hear. Likewise, openness and blockage for our nose, why we can smell something. You see, if there is nothing, just air, probably for the fresh air in the morning, you walk up the door, fresh air, right? But when you walk in outdoor for 5 minutes, then you don't smell the freshness anymore because there is no relative, right? So it's always the relative of for the smelling, there's openness and blockage. Tasting is sweetness and plain. Touching is contact and separating. And awareness, why we aware something, there is arising and perish. Okay, so that is the process. That is the formula, how we generate 6 faculties. So what should we do? What should we do to, at least the first level, get back to the essence of seeing, essence of hearing? Is we have to detach our grasping of the form, the sound, the odor, the flavor, the tangible object and mental object. And that means detach the 12 phenomena, conditioned phenomena, which are the brightness, darkness, movement, stillness. All these 6 are so-called 12 conditioned phenomena. Okay, our first level of practice, we need to detach from that. So then that is the first thing we need to know. Buddha say, okay, you have to know how your 6 faculty, why the 6 faculty form and how it function. And now then next, how to practice 1 faculty and realize that all 6 faculty become compatible. So that means high practitioners, they can use the ear to see, the eyes to listen, all kinds of things, because the 6 faculties are compatible, interchangeable. Okay. Now, Buddha's guidance, how to practice this. Do not allow your attention to be diverted by the 12 conditioned attributes of sound, silence, blah, blah, blah. Next, extricate one faculty and redirect that faculty inward to what is original and true. When we continue to do that, our breathing light, the luminance from within will shine out and educate the other 5 faculties. That luminance is key. All the things, all the method we practice, that when we can detach all the conditioned attributes and slowly get inward, we still need to practice until the luminance reveal. Otherwise, sometimes people are like, I'm so quiet, nothing happened. I have no wandering thought. You sit here for 10 years, nothing happened, because the luminance, your mind does not get illuminated. The wisdom does not revealed. So if that luminance revealed from within, then all 6 of the faculties become interchangeable. Okay, so don't be, just pick one faculty is enough. Okay, Buddha said that. And now Ananda, I have another question. Like, she's still attached to, when my eyes does not interact with this object, my ear do not hear, that means my 6th faculty does not interact with outside objects. Then there's nothing. And how can I practice? The mind conscious must cease to exist when it departs from its own object. That's Ananda's view. So how can this consciousness, which will ultimately perish, be the base for practice? That means when your 6 organs not functional, how can you practice and see the Buddha nature? Because I can find nothing that fundamental is my mind or my mind's object. So on what then can I base my quest for spring enlightenment? So when there is no subjective mind and objective object, things, and how can I reach my enlightenment? Nothing happened. That's a lot of practitioners state, and a lot of beginners question. Then Buddha, again, this happened all the time in Śurangama Sutra, the bells sound. So Buddha say, ding. Oh, do you hear? Yes. When the sound perish, do you hear? No. Bing again. Is there a sound? Yes. And it is silence. Is there a sound? No. And Buddha, ding again 3 times. Okay. Do you hear? Yes. Ding. And when it's silent, do you hear? No. Just keep repeating. Okay. So after these 3 rounds, Buddha scold and Ananda say, Are you crazy? How can you get fuzzy about yourself? When I say, do you hear? You hear either sound or hear silence. When I ask, is there a sound? There is a sound arising and there is a sound perishing, right? And then when I hit again, you can hear again, right? So that means the ability to hear you does not lost. You always keep your ability of hearing no matter there is a sound or not. But you confuse hearing a sound as your ability to hear. Then you will fear that, when my faculty does not with interact, when I hear nothing, that means my ear faculty does not function at all. And how can I practice? So this is the very important things that Buddha point out. When you are not interact with the object, your ability is still there. The accents of hearing, accents of seeing, accents of is still there. Okay, so the key point for practice is always disengaging yourself from two impurity, defile mental phenomena and defile sentient attachment. And you always, remain in that state of no defile mental phenomena and no defile sentient attachment. Then your Dharma eye will become clear and bright. And how then could you fail to go on to realize the supreme understanding and awakening? Now, the problem is it's very hard to disengaging ourselves from two impurity. The defile mental phenomena is about our sixth consciousness, because our sixth consciousness is always very active, process all the data, make judgment, and discriminate, make judgment, and all that activity is defiled, because based on what we receive, the object, and we have already have prejudice and start to make discrimination. It's very hard. So the first step is for practitioner is we have to practice our faculty, and we have to stop our sixth consciousness. And how about defile sentient attachment? That's about our seventh consciousness. This attachment, always attach. This is me. This body is me. This mind is me. This good thing is me. This bad thing is me. It's all me. This attachment is so rooted deeply. It's hard to be aware of. Only when we can stop the defile mental activity, then we can start to take care of the defile attachment of the seventh consciousness. So still, we need to use our faculty to practice until our sixth consciousness get cured or stop, and the defile attachment from the seventh consciousness ceased. We'll have to move on quickly. Okay, now, this is just, because it's very important for me that all the Buddha, upon hearing that, all the Buddha from 10 directions speak at the same time, tell Ananda, the source of the knot is your sixth faculty. All the affliction come from your sixth faculty. Also, to understand the supreme enlightenment, it is through those same six faculties. The six faculties are very important. It's very precious. So as a human being, it's very precious because we have six faculty. This faculty is generate nuts, generate affliction. This faculty reach enlightenment. So this is a very important, precious quality that human being has. Okay, so again, Buddha say that, remind Ananda, neither the object nor perception of them have an essential nature. They are dependent on each other. So, therefore, the establishment of perceived object such that they exist separately within your awareness is the foundation of ignorance. So when we perceive objects, we think that they are the separate things from our mind, awareness mind. That is the fundamental of ignorance. So when objects are not perceived as separate form from awareness, that itself is nirvana, which is the true purity free of outflow. So the key is to deroot the ignorance. Okay, here is, remember the table, how we have the eye faculty, different faculty is when there is a light, darkness, and brightness, and form reveal, and our essence of seeing grasp the form as a separate things, and then this process will make our eye faculty aggregate form. But we have stopped right there. And when the 6 knots are untied, the one also vanished, the voidness. Okay. But here, the most important part is when we practice, when we try to untie a huge knot, we have to untie it sequentially. You know, you tied it once, second time, third time, 6th time. It's impossible you untie the first knot first. You have to untie the lattice knot first, and gradually untie to the core. And eventually, when you untie it, there is no knot. And likewise, when we try to practice, subdue the afflictions, sever the afflictions, we have to do it sequentially. And Buddha said that when we disengage with the objective attachment, and we will realize first, the ego is void. And second, the Dharma are void. And third, even the voidness will vanish. So that's how it sequentially go. You cannot say, oh, I'm reached the level that the voidness disappear. But in daily life, if you're a very ego-centered person, that's not it, okay? So usually there is another term called self-attachment, Dharma attachment, then the voidness attachment, 3 levels of detachment. So in the Śurangama Sutra, in the previous chapters, talk about, the physical world, the sentient beings, and karmic retribution, how we, from a complete enlightenment, and suddenly there is an unluminous state that drive us to have a sense of void space. And when the darkness aggregate into the form, blah, 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 it's like detail explain how our true mind and grasp the idea of void space and the 4 elements and the deluded thinking and the body and all the mental activity. Now what we need to do is reverse it. So we need to reverse. This is the from the awakening of faith in the Mahayana, explain the process from the pure enlightenment and how it generates ignorance, generates subjectivity, objectivity. It's called 3 subtle appearance. And then from that, generate the appearance of discriminating knowledge, the appearance of continuity, and all the way to the suffering produced by the karma. So for us, need to practice. It's reverse. Untie the knot from outside to inside. You cannot say, oh, I wanted to dismiss this duality of subjectivity and objectivity. If you have this strong mind, it's impossible. You dismiss your subjectivity and objectivity because you don't know what subjectivity and objectivities are, and you want to dismiss them. Your mind created another attachment. You have to, one by one, go deeper and deeper. And if we use the 12 link of dependent origination, then, Buddha's original question, why we have life and death? Why sentient beings has life and death? So from life and death, he found the possession of karma. He found out that our grasping habit, he found out that our craving, feeling, sensation, all the way to the fundamental ignorance. That's how we reversed, okay? Even though you want to cut in the middle, you need to have a foundation of the previous one, okay? So now quickly go to the 12 methods to enlightenment. I'm not going to very detail of each method because each group has his specialty. And also it's by sequence, okay? It's from object. You remember that we have a Buddha nature. Then we grasp voidness, okay, from your right to your left. Our deluded, our existence come from original pure Buddha nature. Then we have a grasping of the voidness. Then we, the 4 elements or 7 elements, 6 elements exist. And then we have conscious minds, mental activity, and we with the form, the faculty exists, and then we grasp the object and generate a lot of affliction. So that's the process. Now we have to reverse it. And of course, we work on the object first. So there are 6 objects, right? The sound, the sight, the order, the taste, tangible objects, and cognitive objects. And each representative of the disciple are listed second column. And then how they reach the perfections through contemplation, I briefly concise the keywords here. For example, the sound, the Kandianya, anyway, this is one of the 5 Bhikkhus. You hear the Buddha's voice, awaken to the teaching of the 4 Noble Truths. Okay, so the sound, the object, the content is the elements for him to reach enlightenment. How about the sight? So the Upanishad, contemplate the attribute of impurity, the bones, the dead corpse. Then the bones, through contemplation, the bones turn to dust, disperse into space and vanish, and the luminous is revealed. But he found out that neither space nor visible object truly exist. So he detached the form from seeing and order the same thing. Contemplate the source of the fragrance, and then eventually found out, it come from nowhere. It's not from the incense wood, not from the fire, not from the smoke. Where does it come from? Where does the smell come from? And when it comes, there's no place for that fragrance to come. And when you don't smell the fragrance, you don't know where the fragrance goes. Of course, you can debate with me about the chemistry or biology things, but that's the the Indian Vedic debate about the principle or the reality. And so always, if we contemplate the objects, always the objects become, emptiness. Okay, so fragrance, as I heard, perceive, vanish. Always that object vanish, disappear. Same thing, taste as well. If you want to know the detail about story, and you can check it out, the sutra. So the taste is conditioned as well. You know, where does the taste come from? It's neither, you contemplate deeper and deeper, you will always find out taste was neither existing nor non-existing, and neither exist in the body nor the mind, nor exist apart from them. Okay. Tangible object, the same thing. By water and the cognitive object, the contemplating the emptiness and stillness of these mental objects. When the thought come, you know, the six, when you have a taste sensation, when you have a touching sensation, when you have all kinds of sensation and perception, comes and go. And finally you found out those mental objects are empty as well. So the main practice for the if we use the six object as the practice to practice, then it's like this. In the existence of 18 realms, 6 faculties interact with 6 objects and 6 consciousness to help discrimination. In Śurangama Sutra, it's all true suchness. We talked about that before. But for ordinary people, they are not. They are or defile illusion, and they cause us a lot of afflictions. Now, the 6 faculties, objects, okay, which come from our mind, our consciousness. But when our 6 faculties interact with the 6 objects, and we contemplate, examine the objects, always it will lead to the emptiness of the object. The objects is not real, have no true entity. Okay, that is very difficult, you know. Theravada tradition has very good at it. You know, they can examine and contemplate deep samadhi. They can see that the form, you know, go all the way to the very final elements. And then when you push further, it's nothing. Okay. Now, how about the faculty? See, for the people who want to practice with the faculty, actually, you found that those practitioner, disciple has foundation already. For example, Aniruddha, eyes faculty, why he is blind? He practiced so diligent, he was lazy, okay. But Buddha just scold him. Then he practiced diligently day and night. No sleep at all. Then he get blind. So you see, he has a foundation, you know. And then now he's blind, but he used eyes as the eye faculty as the practice. So Buddha taught him to practice Vajra Samadhi of taking delight in illuminative vision. Without using my eyes, I could see everything in all 10 directions. And so he returned the faculty of seeing back to its source, original source. So that's one case, is you are blind, but you can see everything. Then now you're not using these organs, you're using the essence of eye, seeing, that is shared between all other 5 faculties. Okay, so how about this? Use the nose, breathing, basically breathing. And this disciple, the second one, has poor memory. But he he has a very good quality is when Buddha taught him to do something, he just like very mindful and very one-minded to do that. He can still the mind, contemplate. Usually he just has poor memory, but he can settle his mind very quickly and contemplate the breath. Because he only can grab one thing, okay? So he instantly discern through breathing, the breathing, you contemplate the breathing, and gradually the breathing things will change. And you found out the emptiness nature of the breath. So again, the essence of the breathing, okay? And the tongue as well, this disciple, because of the karma of speech, always say bad things about people, then you have this karma. And he suffered from an illness which causes him to chew like a cow. I don't know, chew like a cow. Okay. But anyway, so Buddha taught him to contemplate the awareness of tasting is neither an entity nor an object. So when you choose, are you chewing something? You're tasting something, or mindful eating, okay? So you think you choose something, but the food in your mouth keep changing. The taste keep changing. What is the real entity of the object? He used this process and redirecting tasting back to the nature of awareness. Same pattern, body. And this disciple stepped on a poisonous thorn, very painful, right? Like a nail. You step on the nail, something like that. So painful. And so Buddha taught him to contemplate, where does the pain come from? And he found out that, this is a very important sentence. So he found out that even though my awareness knows the pain, but the pain cannot cause the awareness to be painful. So I feel the pain, but my awareness is not painful. This thorn caused me to feel the pain, body pain, but this body pain cannot make my awareness to be painful. My awareness is always my awareness. The awareness is not pain, okay? So my body, upon this realization, my body and mind become suddenly empty, okay? And how about the mind? Shiputi, very famous one. He is well established. He said, even in my mother's womb, I knew the emptiness of all existence. You see, he detached from the outside objects already. So he already knew the emptiness of all the existence. So it does not attach to them. But he's still not it. So Buddha told him to contemplate the nature of awareness. So nothing, everything is empty. So who knows the emptiness? Contemplate that. The mind, the awareness. Who is aware of the emptiness of all the existence? Gradually, he realized essential nature of awareness is also empty. Very good. Return all mental cognitions to emptiness. Okay, so this is very advanced already. Next one. So here, when we talk about contemplate the sixth faculty, it's always go to the source, the nature of the sixth faculty, the essence of the sixth faculty, always go to the nature of emptiness as well. And also there is no self. No self. No one is smelling. No one is tasting. Okay. Now it's very deep. And also, no matter what happened, all these are our true suchness. Now, another six, the organ, the ear organs. Well, I'll talk about it next time, 2 weeks later, is because one in Bodhisattva used that. This is very, very important method and very useful to all kinds of practitioners. And so that only 5 here. And how about the 6 consciousness? Okay, here, Sariputra. Sariputra is the disciple that very close, the practice level very close to Buddha. So he said that ever since aeons ago, my eye awareness has been pure. See, the eye faculty is already pure. And the doctrine of cause and condition will make up. But the problem is to the boundless of the mind. Even though your eye awareness is pure, problem is limited. It's limited to what you see, limited to this, your environment. But then upon hearing the doctrines of cause and conditions, this awareness expand, become boundless. Then my eye awareness reach perfections and reveal luminance, the wisdom. Luminance is always about wisdom revealed. And how about ears? Samatha Bhadra, very advanced. It's also very advanced Bodhisattva. He is the son of Dharma King. Okay, he practiced very diligence on the great 10 vows that we all know about, and he hear the Dharma, and then, but upon the guidance of Buddha, because he wanted to help all sentient beings, and he knows everything. He can preach all kinds of Dharma, but still, he need to expand or unlimited that ability. So he practiced, and with my ear consciousness, I can discern the thoughts and viewpoints of every individual being in the 10 directions. So he's the only, after he break the consciousness limitation, now his ability expand to all the Dharma realms, and he revealed the luminance via ear consciousness. Okay, and how about nose? The breath. Okay, he is the disciple that fully follow the precepts, but his mind was always unsettled. See, physically, he followed perfectly all the precepts, not violating any precepts. But the problem is his mind is not settled. So Buddha taught him, contemplate the tip of nose. And then the breath becomes smoke, and my body and mind luminous within. Different step. And eventually the breath vanish and transform into luminance. Okay, see here, when we practice consciousness, now it's always like luminous reveal. Luminous reveal. Okay. Same thing for the tongue, for the body, the upadi. He already mastered. He followed the precept as well, and he watched Buddha all the time, how he practiced, how he get enlightened, how he preached, and so he just copied what Buddha did. And then he can master the 3,000 manners and 80,000 demanders. And I follow the precepts to purify my conduct, and all the karma committed either by nature or by violating the precepts are purified. That's his practice. Use his body, follow the precepts, and to purify. It's very difficult, you know. The karma, you see, we have karma, right? I don't want to do bad things, but my karma driving me to scold at people, to say bad things about people, you know, to take advantage of people. You know, I wanted to behave. I want to be a good people, but my karma always make me do it that way. So we have to follow the precepts and adjust our behavior so that we can overcome, you know, purify the karma. See, there are two types of karma. One is committed by violating the precept. That's easier. Purify the karma committed by the nature. That's difficult. For example, if I kill the people, then I can, you know, I go to the jail, I pay money, you know, I receive punishments. I have to repent to the Sangha, you know, not Sangha. You have to disrobe if you kill people. Like, for example, you do something really bad, violating the precept, then there is all kind of punishment to purify you, okay, from repentance. But the karma by nature is still there. Even though you relieve the karma by the precept. You see, you go to jail for 10 years, you are released, right? So your guilt is gone. That's violating the law. But you killing the people, the karma by nature still there. So that person, you still build a bad affinity with that person. That person will always follow you. Life after life after life, until, you know, the things are forgiven. Okay. So you see, the high level, but he practiced that until, you see, following the precept can reach liberation. That's the example. Okay. Then my body becomes still and my mind vanished. Okay. And how about the Mahamugalayana, okay, the super knowledge disciple? He before practice this mind consciousness, he's already profound hearing he is already very capable of a lot of things. Okay. And upon hearing the profound principles of causation, I resolved to become enlightened, make my body chitta, and my mind was entirely free from hindrance. His level. And now he become a bhikkhu and preach without hindrance. And then my super knowledge reveal luminance within, and are now esteemed as unsurpassed. So he still keep practicing until he is super knowledge. Super knowledge and super knowledge with luminance are different things. One is super knowledge that you can manipulate it some level, but super knowledge with luminance, that means you have wisdom. Now, when we talk about the consciousness, six consciousness, when you practice the six consciousness, always you will reach luminosity and purity of the mind. So you see, from the six objects, six faculties, and six consciousness, actually, it's better that we can practice from the sequence of objects, faculties, and consciousness. Unless you have a strong foundation, born to have that foundation, and you just pick up your practice, you know, and that's okay. But for beginners, it's better that we start from part. If you build up a foundation in the past life, you will easily pass the objects and pass faculties and go all the way to the consciousness. Now, I only have a couple of minutes, but okay, this element, remember that diagram that why from our luminous mind, and we got non-luminous and the voidness aggregate, and the 5 elements aggregate form, and all that. So now we reach to detach the elements level. Okay, the fire elements, the earth element, water element, and wind element. They are very, very, and I write it in more detail because it's very helpful for all the practitioners. And probably today I just give one example. This Uchiuma, fire-headed. He had he always has some sexual desire, which means fire inside. And so Buddha taught him. Remember, he is already very advanced practitioner, very advanced practitioner. Now he is practiced to the element level. Now Buddha guide him, observe the flow of hot and cold energy along the bond, all through the body. Okay. Not just hot and cold energy in the bone, through the body, then absorb the spiritual light within. The typo. Your spiritual mind or spiritual light within aggregates, absorb it, and transform excess desire into the fire of wisdom. So this is the contemplation that you observe the hot and cold are together, and your spiritual light, your mind, your bright mind congealed, and then transform the sexual desire into the fire of wisdom. Then this is called the blazing fire samadhi. And then he observed the warmth in the body until they become unobstructed. A magnificent luminance revealed in my mind and lit the way to supreme enlightenment. Okay, so if for ordinary people, you contemplate, you don't have the power to absorb your mind, the brightness of mind, you cannot do this. You contemplate your sexual desire, it will amplify. Okay, so this is the elements, and it always related to samadhi power and related to wisdom. Okay, so the earth is always about, earth is equal, even, right? So when they contemplate this ground levels, Bodhisattva is already very advanced practitioners. And then the Buddha guide him, you have to contemplate the level of your mind, even. Okay. And maybe I talk about this next time. Water as well. You always, at this final stage of contemplation, always need to enter into certain samadhi. Use the samadhi power to contemplate the 4 elements, and until the body and the mind vanished, and the elements become the wisdom. Okay, and so the time is up, and I'll briefly talk about this next time. And 4 elements, and then emptiness, the voidness. Remember that process, elements and voidness and consciousness. Maitreya. Okay. And then finally, a very good practice is called mindfulness of the Buddha by the Dharma King of Mahastama. Okay. It's always keep your always connected to your Buddha nature by calling the Buddha name, by memories the Buddha's name. This is a very good practice for everyone as well. And next one, I will talk about next week. I will briefly explain about this, especially the last three are very important, and it's also related to the next talk, contemplation perfections by year faculty by Guanyin Bodhisattva, October 27th. And so, okay, sorry, I don't know if I have time for question, because we have some event this afternoon. If you have a question, you can write it down and maybe ask next time, because the next the hearing is also the same topic. Okay, so let's end the talk here, and please join palms. May the virtuous merits adorn and glorify the pure land of the Buddhas. Upwardly, we repay the 4 layers of gratitude. Downwardly, we alleviate the sufferings of the 3 destinies. May those who see and hear the Dharma generate the Bodhi mind. Exhausting this body of retribution, may we be born in the land of supreme bliss. Thank you for your attention, and sorry about the time. Next time, I will save some time for questions. Okay, so next time is 25 methods, the method of hearing, very important. And I will talk about the 3 elements, the last 3 elements as well. Thank you.